Greetings from Atolia. I'm the Lord Bones, IMO Influent. Influent is largely a memory game, even if you're learning the language. It was released on Steam on the 20th by Rob Howland. Firstly, let's talk about this game as a PC application. Now you can select windowed mode, various resolutions, for some reason different frame rates and VSync, and you have anti-aliasing. Inside the actual game, you do actually get some control over the volume, but it is only on and off, and there are no rebindable keys. For some reason as well, when you first start this game, all you happen to see a Kickstarter clip. I have no idea why. It's not long, I suppose, so it's not terrible. This here is the main game here, and I've turned on a version of the mode I didn't want to. Now, I have been learning Japanese. You might be thinking, why on earth are you reviewing an educational game? Well, for starters, Steam seems to think it's a game and has listed it as such. And when you actually look at this from the bare bones, it really is just about flashcards and memorizing different things. For example, if I go over here and I click on this here, this will say Tansu.
Tansu.
Which, if I do that, you'll actually be able to read the words. That's the way I've been doing so far, is having this version of the words on. Now, I believe these two different things, if you see a little bit at the bottom there, are different versions of Japanese. I have no idea, because I just wanted to learn a few words at the very most, and it, for some reason, worked. I have no idea why and how on earth I know these words. And if I go into my list of words here, I've only learned 150. I did add one more list at the end there. For some reason I know these words, even though I probably shouldn't, other than these end ones over here. Which these ones here I haven't done yet, if you notice this little circle there. So all you essentially do in this game is you walk up to something, which you go in the kitchen, I can walk up to something new, like
冷蔵庫
that, which is the refrigerator, and I add that to a list. And then in my list of lists, I scroll across, and eventually I will get one item on a new list. It says I've done nothing with it as of yet. This one over here, I think that means I've got it right a few times, but not enough to get a star. So eventually you'll get 10 items on the list, and then you'll be able to run through the list. So if I go over here, and I press the first mode, which is time attack, I'll be able to go over here and say Kajita Bat is these keys.
看板
That's the poster. That's these glasses.
時計
That's the clock.
Tangsu.
Tangsu is again the dresser. Hon is the book.
毛布
Mofu is this blanket. Now, see over here, there's bed. If I select this thing over here, it's like the entire bed. For hold control though, I can select the bed frame, the pillow, or the blanket. That's the blanket if you're wondering.
携帯
That's the phone,
財
and
布
that there's the wallet. Now,
壁
this goes on to the first sort of little problem I have with this game. If I press explore, which is over here. And I've not done a lot of this kitchen. I reckon these are where the last, I don't know, 100 words are. In order to be able to select these chopsticks, you have to be very, very precise. And in that mode you saw just, it was a time attack. And even in the other mode, the mode I'm going to show you in a little bit, which I don't really like very much, you have to be very, very precise on very, very small objects, which is not the best idea in the world. And even if you use the scrolly up thing, a lot of the time it will scroll onto the bowl or onto whatever else is next to it. I think that's the only problem really I have with that sort of mechanic. Now, you're not just stuck with this mode, by the way. You're stuck with this sort of walking around sort of mode, but I personally prefer first person. However, there is one slight little hitch. I think it's just to do with the way they've implemented first person from third person, is when you press that mode, you don't walk for like a second. I was holding forward then. Watch, I'll hold forward, and then it just sort of has some weird delay. I have no idea why. It's very annoying though. You have some interaction with the world as well. You can open doors, you can probably turn this on and get water. Oh wait, turn on the toilet, I think it's called.
流し
Not that. That.
取手
Yes. See, I'm not terrible at this, at least. And you can also crouch in order to get a bit of look at some Shizaki, I think it's called.
下着
Shizaki, that's the one. And in general, I think the idea of sort of associating things within the 3D world, it must work because somehow I have learned words. Somehow these words are in my head. Now, I do have a second problem, and the problem I'll show you now is with this little toy ship over here. So I press Q, and I'll show you the hardest one actually, the hardest one I've currently got, which is the one inside of that closet next to you. There, that one. Now, I'll now choose flyby. And this now, okay, turn out, that's the shelf. This is very, very difficult. You have to sort of fly about with your mouse. Oh, Christ. Fly about with your mouse, rather, and shoot. But it controls so terribly. And especially when you're trying to do a list inside of these sets of drawers, because you can't even move. You can't, it's just, you don't have much control over what you're doing. And even when I tried to do it in the big room, which I might have to do in a second, it still was a pain to be able to use. I still haven't got the hang of it, and I've shot it, what, 10, 20 times? But because I'm shooting things around it, it needs me to get so many consecutive shots at a hanger in order for me to get it, which is just ridiculous. Well, it's ridiculous if it was more precise, let's say. But the controls are very, very... Oh, let's move it for a moment. Just fly around the entire apartment. It'd be ridiculous if controls actually were a bit tighter, but they aren't. They just feel clumsy, and they feel like... They feel unresponsive, I think, as well, a little bit. Like when I'm turning this mouse here, I'm having to turn it quite a bit in order to get it to work. And that's the shoes down here. There we go. Oh, bloody hell. I'll be out. Never mind. I'm going to press escape on this. But there's my main problem with that mode, is that it is absolutely intolerable. And I think that's almost it. Oh, not quite actually. When I said you can actually cruise the various lists, you can actually choose random list, and it'll make a random list of 10 out of the things. And as I found out, it won't use the adjectives unless I press random list while selecting adjectives, I think. And additionally, you'll see at the top, well, top middle, where it says 129 stars, what you can do if I select something random. Let's go into here, let's select this.
Nagashi.
Okay, let's select something that actually has...
Boru.
Nope. Do you have an adjective?
Recycle.
You do not? Yeah, there we go. This wall over here has a verb,
もたれかかる
which is lean, which is a very, very long-winded word. However, when you learn a word, you get a star. And you then can buy different adjectives and verbs, like over here, their adjective, annoying. So, and these words then will add on to, well, then can add on to your list, so you can learn up to 420 words, and I don't know this for 100%, but I'm pretty sure these include the adjectives, because I've done all these rooms, as far as I can tell, mostly all of these rooms, and this is the only one left. So unless there's another 300 items inside of this room, I think that they would include adjectives as well. So I think that's about it, to be perfectly honest with you. This game, for some reason, has drilled 100 words in my brain. I'm not exactly sure whether I like the actual game itself, but it definitely inerks something inside of me, if that's even a word, with my whole flashcard sort of system. And somehow I know these words. Somehow I know that there is a toke. But then again though, I don't know the grammar. I don't know how to say it. I couldn't even say a sentence. I couldn't even... All I could do was yell nouns at somebody who spoke Japanese. And I don't even know, because these here are different versions of the same one. I don't even know which version I'm actually talking in. So it's only really useful vis-a-vis learning a language if you're already learning a language, like in school or college or in some sort of other institute. It would be absolutely useless for someone like me who is not currently. But it is fairly enjoyable, and I suppose it could make you realise whether or not you want to continue and learn the language further. I think this is more than enough on this Influent game. If you're learning a language that these guys provide for, then I suggest you play it. Influent client and one language is on Steam for $9.99, £6.99 or €9.99, with each language as DLC for $4.99, £3.99 or €4.99. See you in the next one. Goodbye.